Right, guys, welcome back to episode 12 of the PHYSIQUE-CAST podcast. We have a very, very special guest today. We're joined by Mark and Mr. Christian Chapman. Christian, how are you, boss?
Not too bad, bro. Pretty good. Can't complain. Tired. Standard. Fucked from legs earlier. Yeah, carry on.
That's good, man. I've a good relationship with Christian. I was coached by Christian in the past. Christian brought me through an off season, and Christian is somebody who I immensely look up to for many different reasons. And I was really looking forward to getting the opportunity to ask him to come on the podcast today. I don't know why, but I was nervous about asking him to come on the podcast. But I'm happy that I did, bro, because I'm really looking forward to having this chat with you, and kind of giving you a bit of a rundown of what you do, who you work with, and kind of your plan of attack for this year. So we're not going to go into the whole like introduction of who you are because everyone knows who you are. But what have you been up to? You've had a lot of changes recently. A lot of good changes has come up recently. Just give us a bit of a background of how everything's been.
Yeah, to be fair, this last like 12 months have been pretty fucking wild because like 12 months ago it was team coached by Christian. And then me and Tim towards the back end of last year, I think it was September, had a bit of a revamp. We wanted to do our own thing, create something a little bit more professional. As much as I loved my pink Miami Vice branding, I'm getting old, bro. Do you know what I mean? I'm 33, and I've been coaching people for like 8 years now. I feel like, all right, everyone kind of gets my personality now, but I want to kind of be a bit more serious with
Yeah.
what it looks like and stuff. I think it's attractive to more people these days. Like everyone wants to be like, super professional, bodybuild. Obviously, when you start to work with me, you realize I'm the most unprofessional professional there is. But I'm never going to change that ever. But yeah, we just wanted a bit more of a different direction with it. I think me and Tim were getting a lot of higher standard clients last year, and we want even higher, and we want more, and we want pros, and we want to be turning people pro and stuff like that. And I think that comes along with what it all looks like at the same time.
Yeah.
So I had a big revamp,
Can,
brought
can
on free
can I ask
coaches.
you one question on that, Christian? Sorry. So,
Yeah,
do you feel that the coach by Christian as well was a very big attachment to you? And a lot of people had that like identification to you because it was your name. And
yeah.
was that a reason, or was that even like a subconscious reason why you wanted to move away from that as well?
That was 100% a reason, but I didn't realize that reason until Tim mentioned it.
Yeah.
Because like I said to you before we stopped recording, like Tim's a fucking great coach, and Tim could happily go on his own and do really well. Simple as that. But me and Tim are literally best mates, and he didn't want to put an idea to me because he thought I was going to say no because he thought I wouldn't want to get rid of my name.
Yeah.
But I think to go further in a coaching brand, it can't have your name in it
Yeah.
because everyone just associates it with you, and I want people to think of Tim, not just me. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And now, obviously, all the other lads that are on board as well. So I think it was quite important to get rid of the name. And I was also at the point where I didn't care about getting rid of the name. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I've done. I feel like everyone already know. People are still going to refer to me as coached by Christian,
Yeah.
like still because it was just I fucking hammered it home for so long. People are always going to know me as that, and it's just like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, whereas I think before I was so held on it being like it had my name in it and this is me and this is us and all that sort of stuff. But I don't really care about that as much anymore.
Yeah, I think people don't understand the impact that it has when you create a business and a brand based on you, because it's so hard to break away from that. Like we had the exact same thing last year. We were team AD for so long, and then we're like, you know what, we're gonna just go with Ultimate Physiques and just completely remove me from the equation. So now it's like we got myself, Mark, and Philly, but we're all equal in this. And
Yeah.
when we get inquiries in anymore, it's not, oh, I'm going to inquire to me or I'm going to inquire to Christian. It's like you're inquiring to the team.
Yeah.
And like that, I felt the same way. I felt it so difficult to have that detachment of something that you've built for so long. But it's only when you actually open it up and you almost have like your coaches and everyone on your team, we're all just an equal. We're all equally as a part of this process. I felt it was hard to do, but great thing to do at the time as well. It's one
Yeah,
of
of
those like
course.
very challenging
Yeah.
obstacles.
You've got to think of the bigger picture and the long term. Do Do you know what I mean? Like you said, there is a big problem when you just have it as your name.
Yeah.
And I think at the start, yeah, great, cool. But I think once you're established, it's about then making a brand that's not just about you.
Yeah, 100%. Within then the building blocks of that, so obviously you and Tim started off when you are bringing people in and you're starting to build this team now. What are the characteristics of the people that you wanted to have on the team, the types of coaches you wanted to have in there? What was your kind of thought process moving into that?
Um, so firstly, the obvious, they've got to actually be good at coaching for a start. That does help for me.
Massively.
Yeah. And for me, it's people like who I know I want to work with in terms of I get on with them. And a big common factor between Ben, Nick, and Luke is I coach all three of them.
Yeah.
So I know they're getting the right knowledge. I know they're doing the right things. They're all the thing is with me and Tim, no one's coming to me and Tim for what we look like in terms of our physiques. But Ben's fucking sick.
Mm.
Nick is fucking sick. Luke is fucking sick. And considering Luke is, lifestyle,
Yeah.
for a lifestyle guy, fuck me, he looked really good. Like if he competed, he'd actually do really well.
His arms are
Um,
fucking insane, man.
yeah, yeah. And
I'm always jealous of a man's arms. His arms are
uh,
fucking good, man.
I'm jealous of a man's anything at the minute, mate.
Yeah.
But we know that looks good for us as well. So people that look good for us, people that can coach people, and people that we want to work with and get on with, like our group chat every day just cracks me up, man. Like every day, and that's what I want. I want to build something that like people want to do. And when we asked Ben, when we asked Nick, and we asked Luke, it was like, yeah, 100% we're in.
Yeah.
And firstly, that makes it feel firstly weird because I'm thinking, why do these people want to jump on board with us?
Mm.
They'll have that imposter syndrome every day. But it's like it's being part of not even just a team, it's like a community of people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like all our clients then start to get to know each other and stuff like that. And then they all talk about it. Then they talk about it to their friends. Then those people jump on board. So yeah, whatever looks good for us and people that can do the job really fucking well, personable, likable people, like no one that's really super controversial. You've already got me, who's pretty controversial. So I don't think we need any more of that. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, just people we get on with.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a hard thing to do, isn't it? We're in the middle now of bringing a fourth into the team, and myself and Mark. Like I said, Mark is my right hand man, so we're just trying to spearhead this together. And like me and Mark have had this conversation behind closed doors. You look at the industry now, if you didn't have those lads that you coach and you just looked at the industry as a whole, it's hard to find someone because the content people put out, it's either, like you said, controversial, pulling people down, misinformation. You're like, where are all the coaches who just want to be good coaches nowadays, who just want to produce results and get people to the highest level and are just genuinely good people? You're like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Bro, it's few and far between, man. The industry is full of fucking blaggers, man.
Mm.
And I can't stand it. But
See,
I think,
we're not really looking for someone who can make a good fake away, or knows how to make the best Nando's chicken replica.
yeah, yeah. Or
Someone's just like, oh, come on.
someone that's just proclaiming to know absolutely everything and they've been in the industry for a year. Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't, and there's also nothing wrong with not knowing everything. I don't know everything.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
happily admit it. Do you know what I mean? I think these days are too scared to admit, like, you know what, bro, I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to find out. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, I say it all the time, man. Like, sometimes people come to me with the most bizarre things. I'm like, bro, be honest, I've never even fucking heard of that, saw that, whatever. I'll ask about.
Remember when we even worked together, I had a problem before with digestion with this certain type of PED. And I remember when I asked you, you sent me a voice note, you were like, dude, give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to ask. I think it was Joe or Cal. And you literally like shot a message into that group. You came back to me in 2 seconds. You're like, all right, cool. This is the answer to that question.
Yeah.
And that almost creates an element of more respect because if you were just to ignore that and then ask and then come back to me, like, or say, I don't know, that element of humbleness at times is very important. And yeah, we're trying to find somebody to come into ours at the moment, and it's difficult, very difficult. One more question about your team. Obviously, when you guys kicked off, you had a pretty like fast growth within the amount of coaches that you pulled in, and things really moved quickly. Within your thought process, obviously bringing people into your coaching team can be a challenging thing to do as well. Was there any of those barriers that you faced in regards to, maybe trust or just believing yourself a little bit vulnerable, opening the door to somebody else? Was there any of those feelings as well when you were bringing people in?
You know what? Like, no, and that's maybe a shit answer, but that's how I knew they were the right people
Yeah.
because I didn't second guess it. I think when me and Tim were talking about it at the start, we're like, right, who are we going to get on board? We both said the same people pretty much at the
Yeah.
same. And the thing is, like with Ben, Nick, and Luke, I know them like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Like, granted, Nick lives in Australia, which is a bit annoying. So we can't meet up all the time, but we've met up numerous times over in the UK when he has been here, when he's competing, all that sort of stuff. And it's like fucking two best mates. Do you know what I mean? And then Ben, like Ben's not been with me for a long time, but we'd already had like a relationship before that. Like he'd come to me for business consults, he'd come to me about
I
peaking
think
clients and stuff like that. And we'd always have
you can sense that from your relationship online as well. Even before he joined the team, you could sense that the two of you were already quite close, even though you haven't been working together for that long.
yeah, for sure. And I think also that's why his prep went so well. It was so easy because we just bounced off each other.
Yeah.
Me and Ben have been on fucking nights out together and stuff like that, which again, which helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a relationship there with everyone already before getting them on board. It's not like, oh, what's this guy going to be like? I already know exactly what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
But I think I couldn't just take someone on that I don't know, like not inside out, but I need a established relationship with them like already.
Or you're going to have those elements of doubt, untrustworthiness, etc. Yeah, no, I understand, man. I understand. Right. So you're quickly rising to the top in the coaching scene at the moment, and what I want to do today is really like dive into some of the people that you work with. And when we've had guests on in the past, I love to just hear the the approaches, what you do, how you do it, why you do it. Looking at a couple of your clients, I'm pretty sure Kat is her name, but KL Caraher, I'm referring to on Instagram. Um, every time you post updates on her, dude, it's like jaw on the floor type of responses.
So when
You-
she sends the pictures, I'm like, what is going on, man?
yeah, yeah, she
Really?
looks insane, man. Can you just give us a bit of a backstory on working with Kat, like what you guys have done and what's like the plan of attack? What's the procedures like at the moment?
So she came to me just over 2 years ago now. And see, this is also what makes a good coach is memory. That's 2 years ago. She was 193 pounds. Remember it.
Yeah,
Okay. I know exactly what she weighs today because she fucking messaged me. And at the start, you're like, yeah, completely out of shape, not thinking about bodybuilding, just wants to improve her physique, her life, and all that sort of stuff. Granted, trains like a bodybuilder.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, and her life at the time was chaos, to put it lightly. Like it was a mess. And the first port of action was, yeah, we want to lose body fat, but we also need to sort your routine out, your life, get you in a better place mentally and all that sort of stuff, which we did pretty quickly, to be fair. And like every single week just seemed a bit more positive, a bit more positive. And when you're being a bit more positive about things, weight genuinely comes off easier.
yeah.
And I think in the first stint of dieting, and it was a long diet, but at the same time, it was so easy that there was no point in stopping it
Yeah.
until it kind of stopped itself. And I'm pretty sure she got down to 130 the first time we dieted. So she lost like 63 pounds.
Do you feel, sorry, just one question on that, Christian. Do you feel that the almost like removing the pressure of a timeline for her in that situation helped her immensely because it wasn't like, okay, we got 2 weeks left, 3 weeks left. It's just when we're done, we're done. And her
Yeah,
body naturally just wanted to continue to move.
yeah, exactly. And bro, like again, not ashamed to say this, I fucking hate timelines for people. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Granted, if a client asks me and they want one, cool, we'll do it. As long as you know that can change within a day.
Yeah.
It could be completely different within a day, or a week, or a month, or whatever. And man, I can't remember last time I looked at a timeline and thought that's been followed to the exact day
No, no, no.
because anything can happen. I don't know what's going to happen in 20 weeks. I don't know what you're going to look like. I
Mm,
don't know how you're going to be feeling. And if I could just not work off a timeline for everyone, I would.
mm.
Because I also, like you said, bro, pressure kills people.
Yeah.
And I think it slows the process down most of the time.
You're
Granted,
also determining like a physique based off of time. That's not what bodybuilding is. You know, you should be a shot should be the opposing where it's all physique based. And this is something that I have massively encompassed this year, even with like with prep clients and the scale. You know, when we get to a certain point in prep, I'm like, just get rid of the scale. Just stop stepping on it. Like, why are we looking at one measure that doesn't really determine anything in regards to how you're going to look? And sometimes I feel timelines as well can have the same negative impact. You become so fixated on right, a 10-week push and a 2-week this and a bump and a bump. You're like, just remove it and just go with the flow.
I think people want it because they see other people that have got it.
Yeah.
They think, oh, well, he's got it, I want that. And
Yeah.
I think with some people, on the flip side, it does make them push harder,
Mm.
for sure. But when you've done this a long time, you can sort those, you can see those people from week one. I
Yeah.
know exactly how this person's going to be like. I know what they're going to work well with, and this or that. Granted, a timeline doesn't take me long. I don't mind doing it for people. I'm not saying I don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't think they give you the result that you're looking for with that.
Yeah.
I think I'll tell you when you're done, mate. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we dieted for probably over a year. Obviously, there was, we pulled back and pushed on and pulled back and pushed on in that time, but it was just happening so easy. She looks better every week. She's not dying. She wasn't hungry. It was sweet. So that was about a year in. Start pushing up, dieted again, pushed up, dieted again, and she always struggled to get past that like 130 pounds, but we kind of found out at the last diet, as soon as we started putting food back in, her weight just started falling off.
Yeah.
And I think in
That was a good time.
probably like a 16-week push before prep, and her weight probably went up about 2 pounds, but she was on about 675 gram of carb a day or something stupid.
Yeah.
Like she's a freak, man. Like she's just not normal. And the thing with her over the years is trying to make her realize, yo, you're pretty fucking good at this,
Mm.
because she's her own worst critic. But nowadays, she's, 6 weeks into prep now. She's like, fucking hell, I'm actually really happy with this. I can't believe I look like this and all that sort of stuff. And at the moment, it's flying. It's just coming off. She's about 116, 117 pounds now. She looks a lot bigger than she is,
Yeah.
which is weird. Like she looks like fucking 140.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's going to get down to on the
Is
prep.
she short in height wise?
Not really, no.
'Cause usually
No.
when they're like they're small in stature, they're like they'll always look so much bigger. But if they're
Yeah,
taller, they might be a bit heavier.
she's got like hollow bones or something. I don't know. But yeah, she's great, man. And like, I think it was towards the back in the last diet, I kind of float with the idea of like, you do pretty good at this bodybuilding thing. Her boyfriend bodybuilds and competes as well. So I saw her actually, the first time I met her in person was actually a boyfriend's show. She was sat in the row behind me. So I think she was just getting the bug for it. And it was also like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And she's someone that could just take it all the way, like 100%.
Yeah. It's
And
it's
if you,
wild. It's wild to think that even her, like when you watch her journey, even the first true transformations that you put up of her, how even then she wasn't like, I'm fucking all in this. Because some people have 1% of the talent that girl has, and they think they're going to be Miss Olympia. It's crazy to think that even at the level she's at, she still didn't have that like drive to jump straight into it.
yeah, 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 100%. And like I said, I'll never say to someone, mate, in the last 8 years, I've probably said on less than two hands, you could take this pretty far,
Mm.
because it's not every day you're coming across someone like that. And if you
Mm.
looked at her 2 years ago, I certainly wouldn't have been saying that to her, because you'd never know that you should get like that.
Yeah.
Ever. I can't wait to get on stage. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah. What
And
if you don't want to say what shows is she aiming for this year?
First timers in 15 weeks and 5 days, 6 days. PCA first timers Derby. We might do a two bros after as well, see how she gets
What
on.
what what class in PCA is she gonna do?
Uh, Finger, athletic figure. Sorry, fucking.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say figure. I was like, she's very big for figure.
Yeah, not tone figure. Definitely not tone figure. She's way
Yeah.
too tone figure.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mark, were you gonna say something there?
It's one just to kind of backtrack as well to what you're talking about with timelines. Like, imagine you had came in your first check and like, yeah, so we're going to do a 52-week diet for somebody whose life is like chaotic already. Imagine being like, yeah, the next year will be in a deficit, so here we go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
That was like,
I just like taking things week by week, day by day, man. Let's see what happens because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
yeah. And that's
I
the
know
thing is
I
like,
want.
imagine you said a 12-week and you were like, right, we'll do 12-week push. And then after that, we'll go into a maintenance. And then after 12 weeks, you were nowhere near where you needed to be.
That's the thing. It's like when people set those timelines, they also normally set like a percentage rate of loss as well. And I'm thinking, right, let's say you've set that percentage rate of loss and you're doing a 20-week prep and you get to the end of the 20-week prep, you've hit that rate of loss and you're still fat.
Yeah.
Well, what was the fucking point in that then?
Yeah. So it's almost impossible to know, isn't it? Like it's a guessing game. Like you'd be better off trying to guess the lotto numbers than to know, okay, in 20 weeks you're going to look exactly like this or exactly like that. And I think this is a question I wanted to ask you. We were going to probably ask it a little bit later on, but I can ask it now. I think a lot more people are adopting the idea now within preps of push hard at the beginning and try to get as lean as possible, as quickly as possible, then sail into the last bit of that process. Do you think that that works quite well with your guys? Because you do see that with a lot of yours, they do come in very, very, very quick, and then it's more of like a transition then to like a smooth sail to the end. Referring back to that like percentage, you're not obviously taking that approach of trying to gauge every single week. It's just get it off as quickly as possible. Is that how you like to format your prep processes?
Yeah, and I've been like that since the very beginning because I think it's common sense for me anyway that if if you're starting prep, you're at your fattest.
Yeah,
And if you're at your fattest, you have the most amount of energy.
yeah,
Let's get it off.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing worse than being 4 weeks out and you think, fuck me, bro, you've still got a lot to come off. And you're asking them to push after 16, 20 weeks of already pushing. Do you know what I mean? And that also creates stress.
mm,
You know, if I've got a client who's 12 weeks out and saying, fucking hell, bro, like, I'm looking really good here.
mm,
That's such a less stressful situation for someone that's coming to you saying, bro, I'm 12 weeks out and I'm looking 20.
yeah,
What am I doing? And
yeah,
then that's just added stress, and they're thinking about it every day. The scale goes up one day, and they want to kill themselves or whatever.
yeah,
You know, like I just think it makes more sense. And if it can be a more smooth, easy end to the prep, it's better than a smooth start because, like, of just let's just take a little bit of food and let's add a little bit of cardio or whatever. Oh, fucking hell. And the thing is, when people are seeing themselves get leaner daily, it's pretty
yeah,
fucking motivating.
yeah, yeah. And I think that approach of race to the finish line, to me, that's just it's such a crazy process to do with people. And look, we all have to do it. Look, we've all taken preps over in the past. We've all had people come to us and they're like, I'm 8 weeks out. I want to jump on. But that race to the finish line is such a detrimental approach to take. It's like a crash landing process. And I think a lot more coaches need to adopt that mentality. And, like when we spoke about the timeline aspect, when they have like specificities in the timeline of where they want people ready for, it's like just get in, get the fucking work, pull the fat off. And if you're ready 10 weeks out, you're ready 10 weeks out. If you're ready 8 weeks out, you're ready 8 weeks out. I'd rather be in that camp than be on the opposing of 8 weeks out, being like, okay, we need to have this chat of are you going to make it or are you not?
Yeah. And that's a shit conversation to have.
Oh, the worst, man. Oh my God. I'd rather just get rid of the clients at that point than have to have that conversation. I'm actually fully booked. Sorry, you've got to go somewhere else. My apologies.
No, there's not a worse conversation than that, bro. It's best when they bring it up themselves and I'm like, you know what, mate? I think I agree, yeah.
Yeah. We've tried and we've tried. So she's 15 weeks out from her first ever show, and yeah, man, she looks absolutely crazy. Mark, is that the same first timers that you have somebody in yet?
Yeah,
Derby,
that's what I was
Derby,
going to say.
Derby.
In Derby, yeah.
Yeah,
And I've seen today he could be going up against one of Christian's guys. You've got a guy in the first timers junior bodybuilding.
Theo, bro, the kid is a freak.
He's
And
not.
he literally,
Check
bro,
that guy's passport. He's not 21. No.
bro, before we started prep, he was like, do you think I'm going to be big enough, bro? And I'm like, are you retarded? Like, he'll be one of the not one of the best juniors this year. Like, obviously, look, I don't know who's going to turn up. There's people like Dorian, bro, working in the shadows and all that. But he's great, and that's also a great thing about him. Like, he has no clue that he's any good.
That's good.
Class.
And it's
Class.
about, again, I like to try and instill a bit of confidence into him, because I think having that doubt all the way through and stuff isn't good. But it's also not good to be delusional, thinking, yeah, I'm going to win this. Like,
Yeah.
I'll never say, bro, you could fucking win this show, because I ain't got a clue who's going to be there. But I know you'll do really good,
I
and
always
you'll
find
look great.
I always find the juniors is the hardest class to get a gauge of who, I have like a lot of, I coach 99% of females, and even in the females for juniors, you're like, you just don't know. It could be a lineup of 8 girls and they're all small but in condition, and you have 2 or 3 absolute freaks that come out, and you're like, this person is no way this person is a
Yeah,
junior. And I feel the same way with the bodybuilding. Within the men's bodybuilding, the juniors, it's the most unpredictable class because you have some freaks who look like they should be in the open, and you have some people who look like they've never trained a day in their life. It's so hard to get a gauge of
yeah.
what's going to be there.
There's a vast um, lineup normally of differences. I think I've got about 9 in that show. I feel like everyone's
Yeah.
doing that show.
The
Yeah.
Derby, yeah.
Yeah, be good.
It's
And
it's it's a strange time of the year as well, isn't it? Because usually you'll have the April, Mays, or the like September, October, November. Is that kind of mid season? I always thought they would be a lot quieter as opposed to being a lot busier.
I think any time of the year at the minute is busy,
Yeah,
pretty much. Just so popular now, which is great for us, but
yeah.
I'm gonna need probably about 4 weeks off work completely at the end of this year. It's looking pretty mental.
That's
So
a good complaint, brother. That's a good complaint. Let's move over into some of the Irish. We'll give some of the Irish gals a bit of a shout out. I want to talk to you first about Miss Michaela. Michaela is a very good friend of mine. She trains in my gym. I see her almost every single day when I'm there. Man, what a girl.
I fucking
What
love
a
that.
girl.
She is iconic, mate.
Yeah,
Like I mean, she's absolutely mental, which helps because that means we get on. Um, and again, just like Kat, like fucking, I didn't know she was going to turn out like that last year.
yeah. That's
Like,
crazy. Level of condition, bro. Holy shit, man.
yeah, she was fucking inside out, and I think it was only show day where she was like, "Yeah, man, I'm ready." Like, fucking one day out. Now I'm not ready, man. I'm thinking, fucking hell.
I remember
Uh,
seeing her in the gym she must have been about 8 or 9 days out and being like, I'm going to text Christian. I don't want to do this. I'm like, why can't you see what we all see? Dude, you
but
are,
again, that's what makes her great
yeah,
because she
I
has
agree.
no clue that she's any good. Like, she calls herself a fucking plant pot. Like, that's how she describes her physique. She'll say to me, plant pot checking in or something. And like, considering how she looked at the end of prep, like compared to her
Yeah,
start point this time is worlds apart. And she's
yeah,
about the same body weight now.
yeah,
And we've got about 10 weeks before she starts prep.
yeah, dude. I
Um,
seen her in the gym last week, and from behind, I just saw traps from about 50 feet away. I just seen traps, and I'm like, man, she looks fucking good, man.
yeah, she's like fucking
She looks
Bane
fucking
with them
good.
traps.
Yeah,
She's great, man, and like she's all out, all in fucking bodybuilding, man.
yeah,
Like she would eat if I said meal 5 you got to eat dog shit. She'd be going, yeah, how much salt do you want on it?
yeah.
She'll do anything,
Mm.
and I just don't need to worry. Like there was obviously it was the first time prepping last year. At certain points, I was worried because the body wasn't doing what I thought it would be doing,
Yeah.
and then we took a bit of a different approach from like 12, 13 weeks out. Started pulling out cardio, starting pushing food, and she was just getting leaner every fucking week.
I remember when she told me she had that conversation with you, and I remember thinking, I'm gonna look at this from an athlete's perspective and a coach's perspective. If a client comes to me at 12 weeks out and tells me that they're not doing cardio anymore, in my coach's head, I'm thinking, whoa, I do not know how this is going to go. But then I remember just seeing that gradual change. With working with Michaela, do you think a lot of that, and you obviously done something with her, because I've seen it in person firsthand, just the level of belief she has in herself now versus the I seen her during her previous preps riddled with self doubt. Now she might not come across the most confident, but I can see that change in her. Like I can see her talking about pro qualifiers and talking, and in my head I'm thinking, The Michaela I know from 3 or 4 years ago, never that word pro qualifier would have never came out of her mouth because she just didn't have that element of belief. Um, but within this time around, it's Mark. What just happened?
Sorry, man. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what
Bro, I thought I'd just taken some sort of drug.
Man, I'm so sorry. I have no idea
Whoa.
what happened there.
Um, but what do you think has been the definitive change here? Like, what do you think has been just that instilling of self belief in her?
She's definitely better than what she was. I still have to fucking pull her a lot and be like, look, you know, please remember what we did. The amount of times I've sent her show day pictures, and I'm like, bruv,
Yeah,
and but again, that I feel like it is a good quality
yeah,
to a point. To a point, when it's fucking every single day and someone's self-doubt, I'm thinking, fucking hell, like you shouldn't be doing this if you're like that. And I think with how she did last year and how she looked, and also how much kind of like respect she gained,
oh
like
man,
people were talking about her. She was getting invited on
they still
podcasts.
are. People are still
Yeah,
talking
they
about
are.
that show.
And
Yeah,
I remember I remember when she was like getting invited on podcasts and or getting sponsored and stuff by Engineered. She was saying to me, like, I can't believe this is happening. I'm like, I can
yeah,
because you're fucking great.
yeah,
And I like her to still have some of that self-doubt because it keeps her working really hard. And to be honest, with Makeda, even if she didn't have self-doubt, she'd work really fucking hard.
yeah,
Um, she's just one of them. She's a grafter. Like that. That's the only issue with Makeda is having to pull her back. She hates pulling back.
yeah,
Which I can. The thing is, I completely get it. It's
yeah,
because she loves going for it. If she can do more, she'll always do more. I wouldn't have to tell her.
yeah,
Whereas, you have some clients, it's like, bro, we're gonna up your cardio this week. And like, oh, bro, this, that, and Makeda will be like, yeah, on it.
yeah. She,
That's
she,
what makes someone a great athlete.
yeah, she is hands down one of the most relentless people that I've ever come across. And I've always said it, and we've had a lot of conversations about when, she left her previous coach and, other coaches she was going with. My biggest thing, and I always said to her, you just got to have somebody who believes in you. And once you believe in yourself as much as they believe in you, you're going to be fucking unstoppable. Mark, you're a cameraman. What is going on with that dude?
Oh, let me knock her off for a second. Hold on.
And
um,
yeah,
just
that's the thing,
that
bro.
level of confidence, you just
I
need to
think
instill it into yourself.
I think Michaela can see and feel my confidence in her
Yeah.
and how much I want her to do well. Like, and also the fact that we do, oh man, we get on fucking too well. We're at shows and we were just fucking laughing our heads off
Yeah.
after and just having such a good time. And I think that is a thing. She knows I believe in her, and I think that really helps her.
That was exactly what I was going to say, man. I had we had a really good chat in the gym a couple of weeks ago, and just that from the conversation, that's the biggest thing I took away was like she was just telling me how much that you have that element of belief in her, and that her mindset has just been a 360. Because I see her up there training, man. I see the work she puts in. Like that girl is one of the easily the strongest female I've ever seen. She's an
Yeah.
absolute fucking freak, but also the work that goes into that, and it's
Because
I love to see now the collective of the last 5 years of training in the same gym as her, seeing her every single day, seeing what she does to actually now like finally come to fruition. Like this is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, she doesn't have it easy. She does not have it easy
Yeah.
whatsoever. She's riddled with niggles and injuries that we're constantly having to work around. But she doesn't,
Yeah.
what I mean? Always trying to find a different way of doing things and getting her to where she needs.
Yeah.
Shit. You
Sorry.
there?
I'm back. Yes. I think
Right.
that I'll take the blame for that internet connection.
Sure.
Um, so another Irish competitor that I wanted to touch base on, Miss Emma Curvin. Emma is moving into wellness now. So we've seen a drastic change in Emma's physique over the last while of working with you. So I want to get a bit of a backstory on Emma because obviously there's going to be a vast majority of Irish listeners that are kind of tuning into this and everyone's going to know who Emma was. I want to just give her give you a chance to kind of put a bit of a spotlight on her because we've all seen it from her updates. Like the amount of tissue, dude, that's been put onto her posterior chain is fucking insane, man.
Yeah, glutes look retarded.
Absolutely insane. Um,
Clearly good.
what's been kind of the coaching process behind Emma, and what have you guys been up to?
So again, came to me quite a long time ago now. Closing on 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
Um, and came to me, Natty, with the idea to go assisted. That was her idea, FYI. And to be honest, if she hadn't have said that and she sent me her bloods, I would be recommending it.
yeah,
Because they were fucked. Just not, I mean, probably some of the worst hormones I've seen for a very long time.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, sorry, just to get a bit of it. So was this after you have come back from, or sorry, you took over obviously after she had done a couple of preps and she was kind of
Yeah.
in the assisted route. What this was when blood work was just after that process.
Yeah, so she came to me after some shows, off seasons, etc. Was not using anything at the time
Yeah,
and was just like, I remember her sending me her first shots, what she was doing in terms of how much food she was eating, and the kind of rate of gain that was going on, kind of all led to something's not right there because you're not eating a lot of food, your body composition is not great.
yeah,
And she knows that she's not fucking deluded. She's pretty fucking well, she's not pretty switched on. She's very switched on.
yeah,
Um, and was gaining at a rate which, for that amount of food that you're on, probably shouldn't be happening.
yeah.
Um, Sent me blood work. Testosterone was undetectable on a blood work. It was just zero. And it took us a while to get it into a good spot.
Yeah.
Assisted pretty much from the get-go to get things moving. And didn't start just be like, right, let's pull food and all that sort of stuff. It was kind of like having a recomp.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to do when your hormones are working,
Yeah.
when they haven't been for for so long. And the idea, she came to me with that idea of, I want to do wellness.
Yeah.
And she thought she was deluded at the time. And to be fair, I was thinking, if you want to do that, there's going to be a lot of pushing
Yeah.
from him. But again, it came to that, well, I believe you can do it because I already knew who Emma was, and I know she's a fucking grafter. Again, she's like Michaela, she'll eat shit if she has to. She does not care. When I make changes and I'm pulling food or up in cardio, she's like, yeah, buzzing. And I'm thinking, something wrong with you.
It's definitely an Irish trait, man, because I have a lot of competitors from America, competitors from the UK. Like whenever you change an Irish client's plan, they're like, okay, I'm buzzing for this. Like, you're on 1100 calories. How are you excited to get this done? They're like, right, okay, let's move.
Yeah, she just again, like Michaela, she just loves bodybuilding, man. She just loves everything about it. Again, I'd never be about Emma.
Yeah.
Because I know it's just getting done. And if, to be fair, the one thing she's got a lot better with over the years now is communication. Like she would never tell me she was fucked
Yeah.
ever. And now it's like I don't have to float the idea of a deload. She comes to me and said, "I need a deload," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sweet." Because I don't think she's so afraid of it anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did a lot of pushing up, once everything was in a good spot. Did like a diet for a photo shoot last year, turned out pretty well. And now I can't tell anyone how many weeks out she is, unfortunately, because she's doing secret prep. But it's getting closer, let's put it that way. She just had a first couple of high days of prep and we pulled out cardio altogether, didn't gain any weight, and then off the back of it has lost 2 pounds the day after. So I'm like, yes, response.
Okay.
I just
You don't have to say what show, but is it Irish or UK?
First one is Irish.
Okay, we know what that is. Can I ask you? Can I ask? We will be there. Can I ask you a question, dude? Well, you were talking about blood work there, and a question that just came to my mind, and it's actually a question that I've wanted to ask somebody about and speak to somebody about for a while. When we look at natural and assisted bodybuilding, both have their equal risks.
Mhm.
What do you think is healthier?
Natural bodybuilding.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Because
Do you-
at the end of the day, like, yeah, hormones aren't going to be a great spot. You're probably going to lose your period. You're probably going to not be able to get a hard on for however long. That's also the same when you're assisted. and it doesn't just completely take that away. You got to think, man, like I always think with drugs, you're injecting things that have been made in someone's bathtub a
Yeah.
lot of the time. That don't sound great. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think, it's close for sure, but I definitely would. I'd say it's more so the longevity of things. If you're going to do drugs for a very long time, there's going to be a consequence.
Yeah.
If you were doing, let's say, natty bodybuilding for 2 years versus assisted bodybuilding for 2 years, yeah, it might be equal.
Yeah.
But if you've been assisted for 8 years and you did 2 years of natural bodybuilding, I can tell you now that 8 years of assisted bodybuilding is probably going to be worse for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, with females, like look, the devil is in the duration, not the dose. And you want to keep exposure. Again, depends who it is. I'll always have the conversation with my girls to know where their kind of like limit is at.
Mm.
And you will have some people that like, bro, I don't care about the side effects.
Yeah.
I just want to be fucking huge. Okay, cool. I know where that's at then. Whereas on the flip side, especially like someone like Emma, who wants to keep her femininity,
Yeah.
okay, she has set these are the guidelines. Cool, man.
Mm.
Because I don't care, like in terms of what someone wants to do. I want you to do what is right for you.
Yeah.
I'm never going to push something that you don't want to do for a start. And you know, you don't get up on stage and the judges ask you how much drugs you're using.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you look how you look. And I know Emma will look great on very little drugs
Yeah.
because she
Yeah.
already does. And she's completely natty at the minute.
Yeah.
So, well, Claire, whatever.
Hybrid natty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer because it's something that's been tossing and turning in my head. I'm thinking with the naturals, how aggressive they have to push. They have to fucking dig deep, and I always think it's sometimes those processes within themselves. Like you spoke about Emma's bloods at the back end of the prep there. Like I've seen that myself with clients. But then when you go the assisted route, it's more okay. Sometimes from a hormonal perspective, you look at blood work and it's easier to manage. But then sometimes it's the unseen that becomes dangerous.
The thing
It's
is with,
things that you
with
can't catch from blood work that become so hard to manage them long term.
with Emma's Bloods, it wasn't even on prep. It was fucking way deep into an off season, and they were still absolutely fucked.
Yeah,
So, but that's the risk, and it's all genetic.
yeah,
And some people like my bloods at peak blast looks like I ain't even taking drugs. It's great. Granted, I don't also get the side effect of loads of muscle, but we
yeah.
can't have everything.
You get the positive effect of clean blood work.
Yeah,
What's your
buzzing.
trade-off?
I think I'd prefer more muscle, to be honest.
Yeah, I go on the same. I'm the same. No, that's sweet, man. That's sweet. I wanted to have a chat with you as well about something that you've done, and I think a lot of us coaches are aspiring to be at that level of coaching pros and coaching people into pro shows. And when I was thinking about talking to you about this and kind of formulating how to run it, for me it was more from like a coach's perspective because I think when you get that opportunity of working with a pro leading into a pro show, in your head, was there an element of pressure? Was there an element of stress? Was there an element of expectation? Or did you treat that this is a PCA first timer? In your head, what was your kind of thought process moving into that show with Cam?
Well, I think, look, I put a lot of pressure on myself with anyone that's prepping.
Yeah.
That was next level, to be fair. But the good thing with Cam is that she doesn't, well, she didn't make me feel any pressure
Okay.
whatsoever because she wasn't going into it with any expectations. It was her first time doing figure in a pro show from doing fitness before. So it was completely uncharted territory.
Yeah.
So that was nice. I think if they were saying to me, I need to be top three at this first pro show, then I'd be like, fuck, right, okay, I'm sweating right now, bro. And the good thing about her prep is it actually started as a mini cut. And I think we decided that 12 weeks out from the show, she was like, do you reckon I could be ready in 12 weeks? And I was like, fuck it, let's try and find out. I think the biggest pressure for me was I know she'd worked with some bigger names before.
Yeah.
And well, definitely bigger names than me, 100%. And she hadn't quite been on the money condition wise. And I was hell bent on getting her fucking peeled. Like there was no way she was not going to be up there skinned.
Hmm.
And she was. And it was 100% the best she's looked. And credit to Cam. again, just so easy to work with, which is, again, a common trait. As you mentioned, with all these people we're talking about, they're really easy to work with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely felt a lot of pressure, but that was just from myself. It's not from anything
Yeah.
else, because I wanted to do well, like just like anyone. But when you go into the show and you're in a different country and you're in the athletes meeting and Urs is in there and Nathan Diash is in there and Neckzilla and shit like that, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, what the fuck am I doing here, bruv? I was fucking shitting myself in reality. Obviously, I wouldn't let that known to Cam. I was like, yeah, man, I'm in control. I'm chill. It's sweet. And to be fair, it was chill because the body did exactly what we wanted it to do. But yeah, it was a bit weird being there, and especially for how she did as well. In that, I think there was 24 girls and she came seventh, so we were fucking happy with that because she also got to the night show, which she also was better at. So yeah, bro, I think back to that prep all the time, thinking, man, that was sick.
Yeah. I think it's that like Everest, isn't it, for coaches? Like we
Yeah,
all start at the bottom within the PCAs and the two rows regionals, and you just work this accumulative build to get to those situations. And I think the fact that I think you felt pressure just shows how humble you are, because I think for a lot of people getting that opportunity, it's either going to cause pressure or it's going to just cause arrogance and cockiness. And you see people that get an opportunity to work with one pro, and all of a sudden they're an IFBB pro
pro,
coach, and they, sorry.
pro maker and all this fucking
Yeah.
bollocks.
Yeah, that position of humbleness is really, I think, great to hear as a coach who wants to move in that direction, knowing that the first opportunity you get to work with an IFBB pro, like it's okay to kind of shit yourself a little bit, and it's okay to be nervous, and it's okay to have that level of imposter of like, what am I doing in this room?
Bro, I also have that for Cat competing this year. I'm
Yeah,
feeling the pressure from it because everyone's telling me she's really good. And I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, I know. And like people go, oh, she's going to win the sword and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, bro, don't say that.
yeah,
Do you know, like, yeah, she could, but she also couldn't because there could be some other fucking freak
yeah,
turn. Like, I know she'll look great and she'll do well. That's all I know.
yeah.
Okay, because she's fucking dedicated and stuff. But I feel the pressure from everything, bro, from first timers and stuff like that. Just because I don't ever want anyone to look at someone on stage and go, fucking hell, that's Christian's client. It's not looking good there.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't think of anything worse. That just makes me feel like a twat.
Yeah, yeah. I think that correlates so much into your coaching ethos and how you deliver your service. 'Cause I spent time working with you, and I have to say, like, it was such an enjoyable process to be coached by you. But everything that you did within that process was almost like a stepping stone to get to that point of, like, if you're going to work for me and if you're going to work under me, like, I'm going to bring the best out of you. Where did that come from? Because I think when we look at, like, I think when you look at a coach is like a multifaceted type of person. You look at characteristics across, whether it's football, basketball, MMA. We each have a skill set, but then you have a skill set of being a people's person. You have a skill set of getting the best out of people. Where did that come from? Like, how did you discover that, and how did you start to dive? Was it more personal development on yourself, or was it just working with so many people across so many different types of clients that you just discovered, okay, if I get the most out of them, it gets the most out of their physique?
Yeah, to be honest, Matt, I think it started before I even started coaching anyone. Like I used to run bars, restaurants, nightclubs, hotels, and stuff like that. And one of the last places I was at, I had like 80 staff underneath me. And I was like 23, 24 or something. Like I
Wow.
was young. And it was a family run place, but it was fucking huge. It was massive. Like wedding venue, cocktail lounge, restaurant upstairs, bistro downstairs, a club room. It was wild in there. And I remember the owner saying to me, we want you to look like you own it. So you need to be the face of this business and you need everyone to like you. Yeah. And when you're meeting thousands of people a week, you
Yeah.
get dealing with people and you know what you can say to that person. You know what you can say to it. I know how I can get this guy to spend more money in here because he wants to be in here because he feels like he's known by the guy that runs it. And people do buzz off that. It's like, oh, when people go on and like that, yeah, I know the guy who runs it. People love being able to say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And even if I fucking hated the guy, they would think I'm their best mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think I've learned a lot of people skills, and then like selling cars as well. You meet a lot of people, and knowing how to get someone to over the line to actually go, you know what? Yeah, we'll buy the car today. Like, I think you learn a lot of people skills in that. And the thing for me, like, I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing, a personality trait, but I do need quite a lot of like affirmation to feel good. Like, if someone tells me I'm shit at something, that's going to live with me for a long time. So when someone says to me like, "Oh man, you're good at your job," or "Oh man, like you got me this peeled in this time," I can't believe it. Like that brings me so much like happiness
Yeah.
that I don't ever want to not feel that from everyone. So I think that just it makes me put more effort in, and I want to. If I start something, bro, no matter what it is, a sport, something on the fucking PS5 or whatever, I want to be the best at it.
Yeah.
Like I'm addicted to knowing stuff and getting stuff done properly. Because I also like how it looks, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like with, I like to get praised for things when I feel like I've done well. That person will say, "Yeah, well done, man."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's answered the question.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. One of the biggest, I think, positives that I could take away from and whenever uh, you obviously are extremely popular, right? And you're always going to come up in conversation now within other coaches talking about athletes, etc. The one thing I always say about you, how you are online is exactly how you are when you deal with you day to day. You don't change. But I think also you portray yourself as a very caring person online. And if you listen to podcasts, you always speak about client care. You always speak about, being there for your people and making sure that if someone needs you, like you're not just a loom. You're on the end of the phone. You're there if someone needs you. And that's one thing I always like speak about you in very, very good tone to say he is you listen to a podcast, watch a video, look at his content. That is the exact person that you get. It's not like a persona. It's not a face online. And I think that's very appealing to people because you are a very, very good coach, but you're also a very good people's person. And you do make people feel like they're cared about and you make people feel like they're a part of a team and they're a part of a community. And that level of just kind of just customer service, do you think that fell from obviously your backgrounds and what you've done as well?
Yeah. I think, especially in the bars, I wanted people to be having a good time, else they'll leave.
Yeah,
And that's the exact same thing with coaching. The problem is now you've got a million coaches you could choose from.
yeah,
Well, I want to make sure that that person's feeling like they're the only client that I've got.
yeah,
You know, I I don't think there's a better trait than caring. If I'm working with someone and I feel like they don't give a shit, well, I ain't staying. Do
mm,
you know what I mean? I don't want people to feel like a number, but I definitely feel like it's definitely stemmed from having a customer service background and being like, right, how can we get these people in this nightclub to stay in here and not go down the road? Well,
yeah,
they need to be having a good time. So, like, bro, I would always just float around and just go and talk to people. And then by the end of my time being there, everyone in that town knew who I was.
yeah,
And it made them, not everyone wanted to come back because a lot of people didn't like me as well. But that's also the same in coaching.
yeah,
Like, I can't coach everyone because not everyone is going to like how I am as a person. And that's absolutely fine. I also don't want to work with people that don't like me.
yeah,
With what you said, bro, like in terms of being the same online as I'm in person, like that's my the biggest compliment anyone can give to me. Like when they see me at a show, "Oh, bro, you're exactly like what you like online." I'm like, yeah, because I couldn't think of anything worse than having to act like someone else every day. And if you don't like my personality, cool, man. Like I'm not bothered. Do you know what I mean? But if
yeah.
you do, cool, we can work together well. You know
But
what I mean?
I think it's so appealing in this day and age because when you look at coaches, I think you have coaches who are people that are quite empathetic, compassionate, but they're great people yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Or you have extremely robotic, like die-hard bodybuilders that if you take one step out of line, it's like it's so unrelatable. Do you think that a lot of bodybuilders are also coming on board with you because they get your coaching from a bodybuilding perspective, but then they also get how relatable you are? You take time off work, you go away with your partner all the time, like you eat out in restaurants, you do things that normal people do. And there's something very, in my opinion, when I worked with you, very reassuring about that to if I wanted to go away with the kids and take time off, I could just message you and you're like, dude, just go and enjoy yourself. Like you're not gonna fucking lose what we've done just because you've gone away for a week. Whereas other people, it's like you wouldn't get that type of feedback. It's like very hard to relate to people at times as well.
Yeah, and look, you tailor that to your client. Like, I know if I told Michaela to go out and off plan meal, she'd tell me to fuck off
Yeah, true.
because she doesn't want one. I'm like, yeah, man, that's fucking sweet. But also, if she came to me and said, look, I've got this coming up, what do I do? I say, you're going to do what makes you feel most comfortable.
Yeah,
It's simple as that. But I know not everyone is going to be like Cuba or perfect example, Joe Gann. Love Joe. Fucking what a physique. The guy is a freak.
yeah.
Yeah. He is die-hard fucking bodybuilding. And fair play.
Mm.
Like, fucking love that. You just tailor that to that person then of being like, I know you're not going to be off plan, but if there is a time, you tell me, I'll tell you what to do.
Yeah,
Okay. Whereas some people, it's not going to be like that. Like life is going to happen. You've got kids, you've got a family, you've got responsibility, you've got a high pressure job. It's not all out bodybuilding 100% of the year. Granted, if you're doing a prep, for that prep, it's 100%,
of course. Yeah,
simple. But if it's an off season, I want you to take some time out
yeah,
so that you're not burnt out the next time you come to compete.
yeah. And I think it's something you do quite indirectly as well, because it's the type of person that you are. You are quite relatable in those aspects. I think it's a great kind of magnet to have for people who, in a world of extreme roboticness and diehard 100% crossing T's and dotting I's, to actually have that bit of reassurance that, a little bit of time off is actually okay. And, sometimes taking a little bit of a step back, it's okay. And it creates a lot of, I think, trust within people as well.
Yeah.
And I think for you, like that obviously helps with like building quite long lasting relationships. You obviously work with people for quite a long time, and you have that ability to um create those relationships where you have 2 years, 3 years, 5 years working with people. Where does that stem from? Like obviously from a relationship perspective, you build it from the ground up from day one, but is there anything that you're doing kind of inside the process to, obviously we spoke about timelines, not putting long timelines up for people.
I think retention a lot of the time just comes down to service,
Yeah,
you know, and what you're getting from them each week, right? Am I actually getting something of value from my coach every single week? And if they're not, they're probably going to start thinking elsewhere. I want to be doing like, if it's week 1 or week 150, it's the same.
yeah,
You're getting the same, if anything, probably better than it was 3 or 4 years ago or whatever. But I genuinely think retention literally just comes down to level of service and what they're getting. If a lot of the time when people get busier, well, I used to get my check-in response at 7:30 in the morning. Now I'm getting it at 3:30 in the afternoon.
yeah,
People notice that.
yeah, big time.
People notice that. And since day one, my check-ins have been done at the same time. I wake up at the same time. I start work at the same time. If I know it's a busier day, like Tuesday, I'd probably say half my check-ins, the people are on prep.
Mm.
I know I'm going to have to get up earlier because I don't want them to wait.
Yeah,
But again, some people ain't doing that because they think, oh, well, I've got loads of clients. I'm fucking successful on this, on that. I won't get back to them for a bit. I don't want any client thinking, fucking hell, where's my check-in?
yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, that's an obstacle I think within getting busy and knowing your limitations. That we've all been there when you've had a high number of clients and it's hard. But then when you take a bit of a step back and your client numbers come down, it's okay. This is because I've had that myself where I've had a lot and it was difficult. It was tough because I probably 50%, probably even higher of my client base are based in America. So we would have like all of our Irish UK clients in the morning time, then you have
Yeah.
a little bit of time off, then come 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the evening, it's like bombardment then of the US clients coming in, and you have majority of them are prep clients. You've got multiple check-ins per week across multiple time zone. It's like there's only a certain limit of what I can do, but I'm happy with that. Like look, when you do well within business, earning X amount versus earning Y amount, if it's a little bit more, if it's a little bit less, like what difference does it make? If I'm happier and my service is better, I couldn't give a flying fuck what the number on the bank balance says. Just let me do my job and have a good service, and I'm okay. I'm happy
Yeah,
with that.
and enjoy it as well.
Of
Like
course.
just like I fucking love where I'm at the minute. Like I don't, if I wanted to take the whole afternoon off, I can because I know all my work's done in the morning.
Yeah.
I feel like I got a good balance at the minute, but that's just coming time, and you get more efficient over time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Right, well, we'll wrap up with 2025 season in front of you. I want to hear your goals. I want to hear what you want to achieve this year as a coach within your athletes, and then this time next year we'll do a part two, and we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
how well you did.
Um, this year is going to be fucking mental. Obviously, it's a new team now, so we're going to be looking after all the boys and stuff with theirs as well. But it's the most clients I've ever had on stage in a year. It's over 60 now for this year, which kind of makes me shit myself a little bit. I'm thinking, what the fuck? But I also look at my list and I'm looking at the timelines. I'm looking at the timelines, and I'm not worried about any of them. I'm just like, yeah, man, that's going to be sick. Yeah, man, that's going to be sick. Like when they're checking in, and I'm just saying, oh, bro, I'm so excited for this prep. Like we've got some. I think what helps is having some really good ones to start the year.
Yeah.
Nick, who works for us out in Australia, he's on stage in 6.5 weeks now. He looks like night and day from last time he competed. That's sick. Got Lenny. I'm gonna have to say his last name because it's a great last name. Lenny van Deerden Donk in Netherlands. The week after and the week after that, he looks great. Emma's coming up. Like the first ones of the year, Alexi, another junior. He's fucking great. He's skinned already, and he's about 8 weeks out, so that'll be fun. Like it's I'm setting the tone for the year straight away. I'm super excited for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, when everyone asks like what's coming this year, more of the fucking same.
Yeah.
More of the same thing you see, just better and better and better every year. That's all I want to do. I love where the business, I love the clients I've got. I'm loving the inquiries that I'm getting. I just want to make it better.
Yeah.
That's it. Just a higher standard every year. And that's what everyone should be aiming for. Like, yeah, I had some great people compete last year. Right, I've got some fucking better ones this year.
Yeah.
And I know there's gonna be better results, and we can add it onto our bio of how many first places and top threes and whatever. Um, yeah, I'm fucking buzzing, and just to do it alongside Tim, like, it makes it even better.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Well, bro, thank you so much. Again, another thank you for coming on and giving your time. I greatly appreciate you doing this, man. I know how busy you are, and like I said earlier on, I've just got so much respect for you as a coach, as a person, and I was just blessed to have the opportunity to have you on the podcast. So,
Bro,
from me,
I
thank you
think I
very much.
replied to you. I think I replied to you in like 1 minute. I'd be like, yeah, man, I'll do that.
Yeah,
I
and I
love,
te-
I love,
and I
I love,
text Mark. I text Mark straight away and said, "Mark, that took me 3 months to send," and he replied within 60 seconds.
bro, I love doing podcasts, so it's all good, man. I love it.
You're a gentleman, right, dude? Where can people find you? I'm gonna link all of your like tags and stuff on the YouTube. But if you just want to give a shout out to your page, your team,
Yeah, Christian_physique pro and our team Instagram, which you don't have to follow that if you don't want to. Physique pro_coaching. We just kind of just collab with shit on there. That's where to find me.
excellent, right, buddy? Thank you for your time again. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate it.